My name is Nelson Dillon, and today I'm going to be talking to you about our small group interaction. Um, to begin, uh, our involvement with the group differ from other groups that I've been involved with before because, as the first question mentions, I would consider this more of a team than a group due to the cohesiveness each team member had and their involvement. Just felt more like a team effort, kind of like uh, bouncing off each other, playing around our strongest abilities to make this more of a team effort. Uh, Usually, when it's a group thing, I feel like it's more kind of not like more straight to the point where like when somebody is assigned a certain duty and another person is assigned a certain duty and you just kind of like go that way until a certain due date. But with this team, I feel like it was everybody bouncing around with each other's ideas, which ties into the second question, which is what roles did individuals play? What roles did you assume? I feel like my team kind of like everybody played a role, you know? I feel like everybody had like duties, but we had somebody that would either, integrate their ideas um, in certain aspects, um, not just somebody sticking to a certain role. Everybody would always put their like input, their take, and everything to make a more well thought result or conclusion. Um, the third question: what norms emerged in the group? Which of these formal norms and which of these were informal? Relate your ideas to the kind of leadership that emerged in your group. Um, what leadership styles did your group incorporate? Was it successful? Um, Despite everybody working as like a team, usually the person who was assigned to kind of keep track would take that initiative to kind of start the conversation. I feel like despite us having a group leader, everybody who was keeping track of and recording the stocks for the day initiated that conversation like, hey guys, this is what I noticed. So and so is going up, this is going down. And that kind of like just brought everybody together, brought everybody's attention to the person. And as like active listeners, we kind of like just paid attention to those details. Um, how were the status and power distributed within the group? Like I previously mentioned, I feel like everybody had like an equal role, despite having and being assigned a leader. Everybody had a turn to kind of like take initiative in certain aspects. Everybody's voice was heard. Nobody was louder than the other. Everybody put their opinion on the table, and we would all talk about it, discuss it, and then come to a conclusion all together. Uh, Question five is, how did the interaction patterns change throughout the group process? Do you feel you were cohesive as a group? If so, what did team members do to reinforce the cohesiveness? If not cohesive, what could they do have done differently? I feel like at first, being like new to the class, being new to the people that we were assigned to the group, it kind of feels like awkward. It kind of feels like a little incohesive and everything because everybody's new. Nobody knows kind of like how one person is over the other and like, their personalities and of that sorts. But I feel like we all came together kind of really quickly. It really took us kind of like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes to kind of just like find that cohesiveness, kind of understand everybody and each other, learn about each other because, as a team, you're not just somebody that you work with and that's it. You kind of get to know each other more in a more like personal way. Um, and it really helps that we were assigned and had like similar majors because we could relate to each other more easily, whether that's classes we shared, assignments we've had, or teachers we've had, of course. So that really helped. And I feel like as time went by, that cohesiveness stayed there, and we've become more relaxed and comfortable with each other to share our opinions and communicate with one another. What stages of group interactions did your group move through? Were you able to clearly identify all stages? Did your group get stuck in one of those stages? Um, I feel like some of the stages, like I previously mentioned, was that kind of like awkward phase for a little bit, but we were able to kind of like overcome that after a short while. For the most part, I feel like, maybe we've disagreed on some opinions, which is normal, especially as a team. Um, but we've kind of like learned to listen closely, kind of get an opinion or the view of that person expressing their opinion of fully, instead of just jumping the gun and being like, yeah, that won't work. So yeah, just being like an active listener really helped in that way. And then, what kind of agenda did the group follow? Was it closer to the reflective thinking process, or did you create a different kind of agenda? Describe, was it successful, or do you feel like there needed to be a different format? I feel like we've kind of took pieces of both processes, like in terms of like reflective thinking and then our own process. Um, I feel like it just kind of helps because, even though the reflective thinking process is a really good idea to kind of like go by, I feel like, it's okay to kind of sprinkle in your kind of um, process or kind of like things that either improve your group, and thankfully in this case it did. um, and then lastly, evaluate the overall success of your group. Do you feel like you were effective or ineffective as a group? What elements of the process were you most pleased with? What elements do you need feels like needs more improvement? And identify two things that you would like to change if you were to follow through with this assignment. Again, explain why you would do these changes would be necessary. Um, I feel like we were really effective as a group. I feel like one step back was, that consistent attendance. I know some of us missed certain days, including myself, but I feel like despite missing a day, and I feel like everybody else can testify, we were able to catch each other up, whether that's messaging each other through Halo or the next time we were in class, we were able to show each other and explain the process, explain what we were doing, and it was really effective. I feel like, oh, that's something I would change, and something else I would change would be just being able to kind of like I feel like this is kind of something now that we already know, is kind of like choosing wiser stocks. Just as like I personally never had a really experience with stocks, and nor did my teammates as much. So kind of just doing a little bit more research on that would really help. Even though we honestly finished in the positive footing and everything, we did well. We made a positive growth and everything, even though it might have not been like double, it was still growth, which was great because, something is better than nothing. But overall, I really feel like my group really came through, and I was happy to work with each and every one of them. And yeah, I was overall happy.